Question 1. A homeowner's insurance policy includes another insurance clause, which specifies that the insured will receive compensation proportionate to the coverage held under multiple policies. Which of the following best explains how this clause operates during a loss claim? A. The insured receives the total amount claimed from each policy, effectively doubling or tripling their compensation. B. The insured must select one policy to file the claim under, forfeiting any compensation from other applicable policies. C. The insured's claim is split among all applicable policies, with each policy paying only its share based on its proportion of total coverage. D. Only the primary insurance policy pays out, and any other policies do not contribute at all. Correct answer. C. The insured's claim is split among all applicable policies, with each policy paying only its share based on its proportion of total coverage. Explanation. The other insurance clause is designed to ensure that an insured person does not profit from a claim by receiving more compensation than the actual loss incurred. This clause distributes the payout across all applicable policies based on their proportional coverage. This maintains the principle of indemnity, which is foundational in insurance to return the insured to their pre-loss financial position without enabling profit. If an insured has two policies covering the same property, each insurer will only pay a portion relative to their share of the total coverage, as required by standard insurance practices and regulations. Question 2. Mark is a property owner who has recently discovered structural damage in his building caused by gradual water seepage over several years. He files a claim with his property insurer, believing it should be covered under typical property insurance provisions. How is this scenario most likely handled today? The claim will be paid in full because water damage is always covered by property insurance policies. B. The claim will be partially paid, as insurers cover gradual damage but at a reduced rate. C. The claim will be denied because damage due to gradual wear and tear is generally excluded from coverage. D. The claim will be investigated, and coverage will depend on the age of the policyholder's building. Correct answer. C. The claim will be denied because damage due to gradual wear and tear is generally excluded from coverage. Explanation. Property insurance policies commonly exclude coverage for damages caused by gradual processes such as wear and tear or continuous water seepage. These exclusions are in place because insurance is intended to cover sudden and accidental losses, not those arising from maintenance, neglect, or normal deterioration over time. The insured is expected to conduct regular maintenance to prevent such long-term damage. Exclusions for gradual damage are standard across most property insurance agreements and are often detailed in policy conditions and exclusions. Question 3. A standard homeowner's policy provides coverage for personal liability in various situations. Which of the following scenarios would typically be covered under the personal liability section of such a policy? A. Damage to the insured's own property caused by an accidental fire. B. Bodily injury sustained by the insured while visiting a friend's house. C. Injury to a neighbor who trips and falls on the insured's property due to a neglected garden hose. D. Business-related injuries that occur on the insured's home office premises. Correct answer. C. Injury to a neighbor who trips and falls on the insured's property due to a neglected garden hose. Explanation. Personal liability coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy is designed to protect the insured from legal and financial responsibility if someone else is injured or if their property is damaged due to the negligence of the insured. In this case, if a neighbor falls on the insured's property due to a hazardous condition like a garden hose left unattended, the policy typically covers the resulting injury. This type of coverage, however, excludes injuries sustained by the insured themselves, option B, and damage to the insured's own property, option A. Business-related injuries are also excluded from personal liability coverage unless a specific home business endorsement has been added, option D. Question 4. Under North Dakota insurance regulations, which of the following practices would be considered an unfair claims settlement practice? A. Promptly acknowledging and acting on claims within the required time frame. B. Refusing to pay a claim without conducting a reasonable investigation. C. Issuing partial payment while waiting for supporting documents. D. Communicating with the insured regularly during the claim process. Correct answer. B. Refusing to pay a claim without conducting a reasonable investigation. Explanation. Refusing to pay a claim without a proper investigation violates North Dakota's Unfair Claims Settlement Practices Act. Insurers are required to handle claims with integrity, performing reasonable investigations based on available information. Option is a proper practice as it reflects timely claims processing. Option C is permissible as long as it's part of a justified process, and option D is encouraged as good claims communication. Question 5. Which statement about insurable interest as it applies to property insurance in North Dakota is correct? A. Insurable interest must exist only at the time of policy inception. B. Insurable interest is required only at the time of loss to validate a claim. C. Insurable interest is not necessary for property insurance policies. D. Insurable interest must exist both at the time of policy inception and at the time of loss. Correct answer. D. Insurable interest must exist both at the time of policy inception and at the time of loss. Explanation. In North Dakota, and generally in property insurance, insurable interest must be present at both the policy's inception and at the time of loss to ensure that the policyholder has a legitimate financial stake in the property being insured. This principle prevents moral hazard and ensures claims are paid only to those who suffer actual financial loss. Options A and C are incorrect as they do not align with the legal requirements, and option B, although partly true, is incomplete. Question 6. Mr. Thompson, a commercial property owner in North Dakota, purchased a property policy with a coinsurance clause of 80% and an insured property value of $500,000. During a partial loss, the property suffered damages of $100,000. If Mr. Thompson insured the property for $300,000, how much will the insurer pay for the loss, ignoring deductibles? A. $100,000. B. $75,000. C. $60,000. D. $80,000. Correct answer. B. $75,000. Explanation. The coinsurance formula is. Question 7. Which of the following accurately describes the principle of indemnity as it is applied in North Dakota insurance law? A. It allows an insured to receive compensation greater than the value of the actual loss. B. It requires that the insured is restored to approximately the same financial position as before the loss. C. It guarantees that the insured will profit from a covered loss. D. It permits the insured to withhold payment until litigation is resolved. Correct answer. B. It requires that the insured is restored to approximately the same financial position as before the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity ensures that an insurance policy compensates the policyholder only to the extent of their financial loss, preventing them from profiting from the insurance. This principle is fundamental to North Dakota insurance practices and supports fairness and the prevention of moral hazard. Options A and C contradict the concept of indemnity, while option D relates to claim disputes and is not a component of indemnity. Question 8. A property insurance policy includes a coinsurance clause requiring the insured to cover at least 90% of the property's replacement cost. If the property is valued at $500,000 but insured for only $400,000 and a partial loss of $100,000 occurs, what amount will the insurer pay under the coinsurance provision? A. $100,000. B. $80,000. C. $90,000. D. $50,000. Correct answer. B. $80,000. Explanation. Coinsurance requires the insured to carry a specified percentage, here 90%, of the property's replacement cost to receive full payment for partial losses. Since the insured carried only $400,000 instead of the required $450,000, a penalty is applied. Calculation. Insurance carried, insurance required, X loss amount calculation. $400,000, $450,000, X $100,000 equals $80,000. Purpose of coinsurance. Coinsurance clauses encourage policyholders to insure their property adequately, helping insurers reduce risk. Question 9. A contractor purchases a builder's risk policy for a construction project. During the course of construction, a severe windstorm damages part of the building under construction. Which of the following statements is correct regarding coverage under the builder's risk policy? A. Only permanent structures are covered and temporary structures are excluded. B. The policy covers both completed and partially completed structures. C. Coverage begins only after the project is fully completed. D. Windstorm damage is excluded under all builders' risk policies. Correct answer. B. The policy covers both completed and partially completed structures. Explanation. A builder's risk policy provides coverage for structures under construction, including both completed and partially completed work. It typically covers risks like windstorms, fire, and theft, which could affect the project before completion. Scope of builder's risk coverage. This policy protects materials, supplies, and labor invested in the construction project against various perils. Clarification of coverage. Coverage begins when construction starts and ends upon project completion or handover, as specified in the policy. Question 10. A business is required to carry commercial general liability (CGL) insurance to protect against liability claims if the business is sued for damages resulting from an advertisement it posted that allegedly harmed a competitor's reputation. Which part of the CGL policy would likely respond? A. Coverage. Bodily injury and property damage. B. Coverage. B. Personal and advertising injury. C. Coverage. C. Medical payments. D. Coverage. D. Product liability. Question 10. A business is required to carry commercial general liability (CGL) insurance to protect against liability claims if the business is sued for damages resulting from an advertisement it posted that allegedly harmed a competitor's reputation. Which part of the CGL policy would likely respond? A. Coverage. Bodily injury and property damage. B. Coverage. B. Personal and advertising injury. C. Coverage. C. Medical payments. D. Coverage. D. Product liability. Question 11. A policyholder has a homeowner's insurance policy with an 80% coinsurance requirement and a dwelling insured for $200,000. The replacement cost of the dwelling is $300,000. If a fire causes $60,000 in damage, how much will the insurance company pay? A. $60,000. B. $50,000. C. $40,000. D. $30,000. Correct answer. B. $50,000. Explanation. The coinsurance clause requires the dwelling to be insured for at least 80% of its replacement cost. Since 80% of $300,000 is $240,000, the policyholder's $200,000 coverage does not meet the requirement, resulting in a penalty. Calculation. Insurance carried, insurance required, X loss amount calculation. $200,000, $240,000, X 60,000 L is equals $50,000. Purpose of coinsurance. Coinsurance encourages policyholders to adequately insure their property, and a penalty applies if the requirement isn't met. Question 12. An insured's business owner's policy, BOP, includes a business interruption endorsement. A covered peril forces the business to close for 30 days, resulting in lost income and payroll expenses. What type of loss is this, and how is it covered? A. Direct loss, covered under property coverage. B. Indirect loss, covered under business interruption. C. Direct loss, covered under extra expense coverage. D. Indirect loss, excluded from coverage. Correct answer. B. Indirect loss, covered under business interruption. Explanation. Business interruption is considered an indirect loss because it results from a primary event, the direct loss, but affects the business's ability to operate. Business interruption coverage and a BOP provides compensation for lost income and certain continuing expenses during the period of restoration. Indirect loss versus direct loss. Direct losses involve actual physical damage, while indirect losses include consequential losses like lost income. Purpose of business interruption coverage. It helps businesses maintain financial stability by covering income and expenses during shutdowns due to covered perils. Question 13. Under a commercial general liability (CGL) policy, which type of liability would cover claims related to injury caused by a defective product after the product has been sold? A. Premises liability. B. Completed operations liability. C. Products liability. D. Advertising injury liability. Correct answer. C. Products liability. Explanation. Products liability under a CGL policy provides coverage for bodily injury or property damage arising from products sold, manufactured, or distributed by the insured after they have left the insured's premises. Scope of products liability. It specifically applies to products that cause harm once they are in the possession of consumers. Purpose of products liability. It protects companies against financial losses from claims due to defective products. Question 14. A garage policy is purchased by an auto repair shop. A customer's vehicle is damaged while in the shop's care. Under which part of the garage policy would this loss likely be covered? A. Garage liability. B. Garage keeper's coverage. C. Business auto coverage. D. Premises liability. Correct answer. B. Garage keeper's coverage. Explanation. Garage keeper's coverage provides protection for customers' vehicles while they are in the care, custody, or control of the garage business. This coverage applies when customer vehicles are damaged by a covered peril, e.g., fire, theft, or vandalism, while on the premises. Garage keepers versus garage liability. Garage keepers covers physical damage to customers' vehicles, whereas garage liability covers the business's liability for other damages or injuries. Importance for auto businesses. This coverage is essential for auto repair shops, as it specifically protects against damages to clients' vehicles. Question 15. Which of the following would generally be excluded from coverage under a commercial property policy? Q. Fire damage to an insured building. B. Windstorm damage to outdoor signs. C. Employee theft of business property. D. Vandalism damage to a business's exterior. Correct answer. C. Employee theft of business property. Explanation. Most commercial property policies exclude employee theft as it is considered a form of internal risk. To cover employee theft, businesses typically need to purchase a separate commercial crime policy. Purpose of exclusions. Policies exclude certain risks to control moral hazards and because other types of insurance, like crime insurance, specifically address them. Additional coverage for theft. Employee theft is a unique risk that requires specialized coverage beyond standard property insurance. Question 16. A professional liability policy provides coverage for which of the following scenarios? A. A restaurant is sued after a customer slips and falls. B. An accountant is sued for errors in tax preparation. C. A contractor is sued for property damage while working on site. D. A retail store is sued for false advertising. Correct answer. B. An accountant is sued for errors in tax preparation. Explanation. Professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions, EO, insurance, covers claims related to mistakes or negligence in professional services provided. In this case, an accountant's error in tax preparation is covered, distinct from general liability. General liability covers bodily injury and property damage, while professional liability specifically covers services provided by professionals. Purpose of professional liability. It protects service professionals from claims of inadequate work, errors, or negligence. Question 17. A commercial property owner has a boiler and machinery policy. Which of the following would be covered under this policy? A. Fire damage to the property. B. Loss of income due to a power surge damaging machinery. C. Wind damage to the roof. D. Flood damage to the basement. Correct answer. B. Loss of income due to power surge damaging machinery. Explanation. A boiler and machinery policy, also known as equipment breakdown coverage, provides protection against physical and financial loss due to mechanical or electrical failure. Coverage includes damage to the equipment and may also cover lost income due to equipment breakdown. Unique to equipment breakdown. Standard property policies often exclude mechanical breakdowns, so this policy fills that gap. Scope of boiler and machinery coverage. It specifically addresses internal machinery and equipment issues, not external perils like wind or flood. Question 18. An insured's commercial auto policy has a symbol 1, any auto coverage designation for liability. This designation means A. Coverage applies only to owned autos. B. Coverage applies only to non-owned autos. C. Coverage applies to any auto regardless of ownership. D. Coverage applies only to autos specifically listed in the policy. Correct answer. C. Coverage applies to any auto, regardless of ownership. Explanation. Symbol 1 in a commercial auto policy indicates coverage for any auto, whether owned, leased, hired, or borrowed, for liability purposes. It provides the broadest liability coverage available under a commercial auto policy. Purpose of Symbol 1. It ensures that any vehicle used in business operations is covered for liability, reducing the risk of gaps in coverage. Commercial auto symbol system. Each symbol provides different scopes of coverage based on vehicle ownership and use. Question 19. Which endorsement allows a homeowner's insurance policy to cover personal property for additional perils such as accidental loss or damage? A. Inflation guard endorsement. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. C. Personal property replacement cost endorsement. D. Personal property floater. Correct answer. D. Personal property floater. Explanation. A personal property floater provides broader coverage for personal property, often on an all-risk basis, which includes coverage for accidental loss or damage to valuable items such as jewelry, art, or electronics. Distinction from scheduled personal property. While both cover specific items, a floater generally provides all-risk coverage that applies worldwide. Purpose of personal property floater. It extends coverage to include a wide range of perils beyond the basic homeowner's policy's coverage. Question 20. A business's commercial property insurance includes an agreed value provision. What is the purpose of this provision? A. To allow the insured to receive partial payments. B. To waive the coinsurance requirement. C. To require the insured to pay a deductible on every claim. D. To increase coverage for replacement cost. Correct answer. B. To waive the coinsurance requirement. Explanation. An agreed value provision in a commercial property insurance policy waives the coinsurance requirement as long as the insured and the insurer agree on a specified value for the covered property. This means the insured does not face a penalty if the property is underinsured. Purpose of agreed value. It ensures that both parties agree on a fixed value, simplifying claim settlements and eliminating potential penalties. Coinsurance requirement. Normally, coinsurance requires the insured to maintain coverage equal to a certain percentage of property value, but agreed value eliminates this requirement. Question 21. Under a commercial general liability (CGL) policy, what is the aggregate limit? A. The maximum amount paid per occurrence. B. The maximum amount paid for all claims combined during the policy period. C. The limit per person for bodily injury claims. D. The limit for property damage per location. Correct answer. B. The maximum amount paid for all claims combined during the policy period. Explanation. The aggregate limit in a CGL policy represents the maximum amount the insurer will pay for all claims combined within the policy period. This differs from the per occurrence limit, which applies to individual claims. Purpose of aggregate limit. It helps insurers control total exposure by setting an overall cap on claims for a given policy period. Separate from per occurrence, aggregate limits and per occurrence limits work together to define the policy's coverage scope. Question 22. Which of the following best describes the claims made form in a professional liability policy? A. Coverage applies to claims made during the policy period regardless of when the incident occurred. B. Coverage applies to incidents occurring during the policy period regardless of when the claim is made. C. Coverage applies only if the policyholder renews the policy annually. D. Coverage applies only if the policyholder is at fault. Correct answer. A. Coverage applies to claims made during the policy period regardless of when the incident occurred. Explanation. A claims-made form provides coverage for claims reported during the policy period even if the incident happened earlier, as long as it falls within the policy's retroactive date. Claims-made versus occurrence form. The claims-made form requires that claims are reported within the policy term, while an occurrence form covers incidents during the policy period regardless of claim timing. Importance of retroactive date. Claims before this date are not covered, helping insurers manage long-term liabilities. Question 23. In a commercial property policy, extra expense coverage is primarily designed to cover which of the following? A. Rebuilding costs after fire. B. Costs to rent temporary office space to continue operations. C. Loss of income due to business interruption. D. Cost to personal property damaged by fire. Correct answer. B. Costs to rent temporary office space to continue operations. Explanation. Extra expense coverage covers costs incurred to keep a business running after a loss, like renting temporary space to minimize operational disruption. Extra expense versus business interruption. While business interruption covers lost income, extra expenses for the costs to avoid or minimize shutdown. Purpose of extra expense coverage helps businesses maintain continuity, reducing the long-term impact of a covered loss. Question 24. Which of the following endorsements would provide coverage for a vehicle rented by an individual under their personal auto policy? PAP. A. Named non-owner coverage endorsement. B. Broad form drive other car endorsement. C. Extended non-owned coverage endorsement. D. Rental reimbursement endorsement. Correct answer. C. Extended non-owned coverage endorsement. Explanation. The extended non-owned coverage endorsement broadens liability coverage for vehicles not owned by the policyholder, including rental cars. Use case. This endorsement is valuable for individuals who frequently rent vehicles. Purpose of non-owned coverage. Extends liability and sometimes medical payments to vehicles the insured does not own, rent, or lease long-term. Question 25. In a homeowner's insurance policy, what does coverage see? Personal property typically cover A. The dwelling itself. B. Detached structures like sheds and garages. C. Contents within the home, such as furniture and electronics. D. Landscaping, including trees and shrubs. Correct answer. C. Contents within the home, such as furniture and electronics. Explanation. Coverage C. Personal property covers the insured's personal belongings inside the home, like furniture, clothing, and electronics. Scope of coverage usually extends to personal property anywhere in the world, though limits may apply for property off premises, separate from dwelling coverage. This is distinct from coverage A, which applies to the structure itself. Question 26. A business owner's commercial auto policy includes symbol 7. Specifically described autos for liability coverage. This means A. All autos owned by the business are covered. B. Only autos listed in the policy are covered. C. Autos owned, hired, and borrowed by the business are covered. D. Any auto, regardless of ownership, is covered. Correct answer. B. Only autos listed in the policy are covered. Explanation. Symbol 7 in a commercial auto policy restricts liability coverage to vehicles specifically listed in the policy. This limits coverage to avoid insuring unintended vehicles. Coverage limitation. Symbol 7 requires a detailed list of covered vehicles, making it suitable for businesses wanting to control insured assets. Contrast with Symbol 1. Symbol 1 covers any auto, offering the broadest liability coverage. Question 27. Which of the following is excluded under the Commercial General Liability CGL policy? A. Bodily injury caused by an employee at a client site. B. Property damage caused by a product manufactured by the business. C. Pollution caused by a manufacturing process. D. Liability arising from advertising injury. Correct answer. C. Pollution caused by a manufacturing process. Explanation. Pollution is generally excluded from coverage under standard CGL policy due to the high risk and complexity associated with environmental hazards. Separate pollution liability insurance is typically needed for such coverage. Purpose of exclusion. Pollution claims can be expensive and involve long-term cleanup, and insurers exclude these to control costs. Alternative coverage. Businesses needing pollution coverage often purchase specific environmental liability policies. Question 28. A building and personal property coverage from BPP includes a replacement cost endorsement. What does this endorsement change in terms of how claims are paid? A. Claims are paid based on actual cash value. B. Claims are paid based on depreciated value. C. Claims are paid based on the cost to repair or replace with like kind and quality. D. Claims are subject to a coinsurance penalty. Correct answer. C. Claims are paid based on the cost to repair or replace with like kind and quality. Explanation. With a replacement cost endorsement, claims are paid based on the cost to repair or replace damaged property without deducting for depreciation. Replacement cost versus actual cash value. Actual cash value, (ACV), subtracts depreciation, while replacement cost provides full reimbursement up to policy limits. Purpose: this endorsement ensures that the insured can replace property without out-of-pocket depreciation costs. Question 29. In workers' compensation insurance, which of the following benefits are covered? A. Punitive damage is awarded to the injured employee. B. Medical expenses and lost wages for work-related injuries. C. Legal defense for the employer in employee lawsuits. D. Compensation for damage to the employee's personal property. Correct answer: B. Medical expenses and lost wages for work-related injuries. Explanation: workers' compensation insurance provides benefits for medical expenses and lost wages resulting from work-related injuries or illnesses, ensuring employees receive support without the need for litigation. Exclusions: workers' comp does not cover punitive damages or personal property loss. Objective of workers' comp: to support employees with no-fault benefits, protecting employers from direct liability. Question 30. What is the purpose of the no benefit to bailiff clause in a property insurance policy? A. It prevents employees from claiming benefits under the policy. B. It ensures that the insured cannot transfer benefits to another party. C. It prevents other parties in possession of the property from benefiting from the policy. D. It limits the payout to actual cash value. Correct answer: C. It prevents other parties in possession of the property from benefiting from the policy. Explanation: the no benefit to bailiff clause states that no other party, such as a bailiff who has custody of the insured's property, can benefit from the insured's policy. This provision helps prevent claims made by parties other than the insured. Example: if a storage facility damages stored items, the insured, not the bailiff, benefits from the policy. Purpose of clause: ensures the policy solely benefits the named insured, not third-party custodians. Question 31. What is typically covered under coverage B? Other structures in a homeowner's insurance policy. A. The main dwelling and attached garage. B. Detached structures on the property, such as a shed or fence. C. Personal belongings within the dwelling. D. Additional living expenses after loss. Correct answer: B. Detached structures on the property, such as a shed or fence. Explanation: coverage B. Other structures applies to structures on the insured property that are detached from the main dwelling, such as sheds, fences, and detached garages. Separation from dwelling coverage. Coverage applies to the main structure, while coverage B covers standalone buildings. Limit of coverage. Coverage B is often capped at a percentage of the coverage limit, typically 10%. Question 32. Under a personal auto policy, PAP, which of the following is excluded from liability coverage? A. Accidents involving a rental car. B. Damage caused while using a vehicle for business purposes. C. Injury caused to others while the insured is driving their own vehicle. D. Property damage caused by the insured's vehicle. Correct answer: B. Damage caused while using a vehicle for business purposes. Explanation: a personal auto policy, PAP, typically excludes liability coverage for vehicles used for business purposes. Separate commercial auto insurance is usually required for business-related vehicle use. Purpose of exclusion: personal policies are not designed for the increased risks associated with business use. Common exemptions: many PAPs exclude business use, delivery services, and commercial operations. Question 33. In a business owner's policy, BOP, what is the purpose of business income coverage? A. To cover property damages caused by a covered peril. B. To cover payroll expenses for employees. C. To cover the loss of income resulting from a covered loss. D. To cover personal property losses. Correct answer: C. To cover the loss of income resulting from a covered loss. Explanation: business income coverage under a BOP provides compensation for lost income when a business cannot operate due to covered property loss, helping the business maintain financial stability. What is covered? Covers net income lost and ongoing expenses during the business's downtime. Separate from property damage. It's distinct from physical repairs or property replacement. It focuses on revenue loss. Question 34. Which of the following statements about umbrella liability insurance is correct? A. It only applies to homeowners' policies. B. It only covers specific named perils. C. It provides additional liability coverage beyond underlying policies. D. It eliminates the need for any other liability insurance. Correct answer. C. It provides additional liability coverage beyond underlying policies. Explanation. Umbrella liability insurance offers extra liability coverage over and above the limits of the insured's underlying policies, such as homeowners or auto insurance, providing broader protection. Scope of coverage. Extends to legal fees, judgments, and settlements for covered losses. Purpose of umbrella insurance. It acts as a financial safety net, protecting against substantial liability claims. Question 35. In a commercial general liability CGL policy, the product's completed operations aggregate limit covers A. Damage to the insured's own product. B. Bodily injury or property damage caused after a product is sold or a job is completed. C. Advertising injury during the policy period. D. Business income losses due to product failure. Correct answer. B. Bodily injury or property damage caused after a product is sold or a job is completed. Explanation. The product's completed operations aggregate limit under a CGL policy covers claims arising from bodily injury or property damage caused by the insured's products or work after they are out of the insured's control or completed. Distinction from general aggregate limit. The product's completed operations aggregate limit is separate and specifically for these types of claims. Purpose. Protects businesses against liability after work where products leave their possession. Question 36. Which type of property valuation in a property insurance policy reimburses the policyholder based on the item's cost at the time of loss minus depreciation? A. Agreed value. B. Replacement cost. C. Actual cash value. D. Stated amount. Correct answer. C. Actual cash value. Explanation. Actual cash value, SCV, reimburses the policyholder for the item's depreciated value, representing its current worth rather than the cost to replace it with a new item. Difference from replacement cost. Replacement cost covers the full price to replace with a new item without depreciation. Purpose of SCV. ACV provides more affordable premiums but requires out-of-pocket expenses for replacing items. Question 37. What type of endorsement might be added to a homeowner's policy to cover valuable personal property, such as jewelry or fine art, beyond the standard policy limits? A. Inflation guard endorsement. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. C. Additional residence rented to others endorsement. D. Business pursuits endorsement. Correct answer. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. Explanation. A scheduled personal property endorsement allows the policyholder to list high-value items individually, providing specific coverage beyond the standard policy limits for items like jewelry, fine art, or collectibles. Purpose of scheduling. Ensures adequate coverage for valuable items that may exceed regular policy limits. Benefit. Scheduled items are covered for a broader range of risks than typically covered under personal property limits. Question 38. Which of the following is true regarding medical payments coverage in a commercial general liability CGL policy? A. It covers medical expenses for employees injured on the job. B. It provides limited no-fault medical payments for injuries to third parties on the business premises. C. It covers the cost of defending the insured against medical claims. D. It pays for punitive damages awarded in a liability lawsuit. Correct answer. B. It provides limited no-fault medical payments for injuries to third parties on the business premises. Explanation. Medical payments coverage in a CGL policy covers reasonable medical expenses for third parties injured on the insured's premises or as a result of their business operations, without determining fault. Scope. This coverage is intended to handle minor injuries and avoid litigation. Exclusions. Does not apply to employees, as they are typically covered under workers' compensation. Question 39. In inland marine insurance, contractors' equipment floater provides coverage for A. Buildings and structures on the job site. B. Tools and machinery used by contractors while on job sites. C. General liability for contractors. D. Loss of income if equipment is damaged. Correct answer. B. Tools and machinery used by contractors while on job sites. Explanation. A contractor's equipment floater insures tools, equipment, and machinery that contractors use on various job sites, providing protection from theft, damage, and other risks. Purpose: covers portable and movable equipment used across locations which may not be covered by a standard property policy. Flexibility: ideal for contractors who frequently move equipment between sites. Question 40. What is the purpose of coinsurance in a commercial property policy? A. To limit the maximum payout on a claim. B. To encourage policyholders to insure their property to its full value. C. To provide coverage only for specific types of losses. D. To reduce premiums by offering limited coverage. Correct answer: B. To encourage policyholders to insure their property to its full value. Explanation: coinsurance is a clause requiring the insured to maintain coverage at a specified percentage of the property's value, typically 80-90%. If the policyholder underinsures, they may face a penalty at claim time. Purpose of coinsurance clause: insures property owners by adequate coverage, helping avoid major financial gaps in case of a loss, penalty for noncompliance. If the insured does not meet the coinsurance requirement, they may receive a reduced payout. Question 41. In North Dakota, which of the following would be considered an unethical practice for an insurance producer? A. Fully disclosing policy terms and exclusions to a prospective client. B. Misrepresenting the benefits of an insurance policy to close a sale. C. Maintaining accurate records of all client transactions. D. Providing continuing education certificates as required by the state. Correct answer: B. Misrepresenting the benefits of an insurance policy to close a sale. Explanation: misrepresenting the benefits of an insurance policy violates North Dakota's regulations regarding fair and ethical conduct. Insurance producers are legally required to represent products truthfully and maintain professional integrity. Options A, C, and D describe ethical practices that align with the state's standards for conduct. Question 42. Under North Dakota law, what is the minimum requirement for a producer to maintain their license in good standing? A. Completing an application renewal every 10 years without any educational component. B. Participating in regular meetings with insurers. C. Completing the required number of continuing education credits within the designated period. D. Writing a minimum number of insurance policies annually. Correct answer: C. Completing the required number of continuing education credits within the designated period. Explanation: to maintain their insurance license in North Dakota, producers must complete the mandated continuing education requirements within the specified period. This ensures they remain updated on laws, regulations, and industry best practices. Options A, B, and D are not standard requirements for license maintenance. Question 43. John, an insurance adjuster in North Dakota, is handling a claim where there is a dispute over the settlement amount. The policyholder disagrees with John's evaluation. What is the most appropriate step under standard claims handling practices in North Dakota? A. Ignore the policyholder's dispute and proceed with the initial offer. B. Suggest the policyholder seek third-party mediation or appraisal. C. Deny the claim without further explanation. D. Close the claim file immediately after the disagreement. Correct answer: B. Suggest the policyholder seek third-party mediation or appraisal. Explanation: when there is a dispute over a claim settlement, the adjuster should suggest neutral alternatives such as mediation or an appraisal to resolve the disagreement. This practice aligns with North Dakota's standards for fair claims handling and dispute resolution. Ignoring the policyholder's concern or closing the file violates fair claims practices, and denying without explanation may breach state regulations. Question 44. Which of the following statements best explains the legal principle of subrogation in the context of North Dakota insurance law? A. The policyholder's right to sue the insurer for failing to pay a claim. B. The insurer's right to recover costs from a third party after compensating the insured. C. The right of the insured to be paid more than the actual loss. D. The insurer's ability to deny claims based on speculative evidence. Correct answer: B. The insurer's right to recover costs from a third party after compensating the insured. Explanation: subrogation allows an insurer to recover the amount paid to the insured by seeking reimbursement from a third party responsible for the loss. This principle prevents the insured from receiving double compensation and ensures fairness in liability distribution. Option A refers to legal action unrelated to subrogation. Option C violates indemnity principles. And option D describes an improper claim denial. Question 45. Under North Dakota's homeowners insurance regulations, which type of property is generally excluded from standard coverage? A. Furniture and appliances inside the home. B. Detached private structures like garages. C. Valuable art collections without an endorsement. D. Personal belongings of a tenant renting the home. Correct answer. C. Valuable art collections without an endorsement. Explanation. Standard homeowners policies often exclude coverage for high-value items like art collections unless an endorsement or floater is added. Coverage for personal belongings, option D, is limited to the policyholder's property, while options A and B are typically included in coverage under personal property and other structures. Question 46. In North Dakota, which of the following is an accurate description of an umbrella liability policy? A. It only provides coverage for auto-related incidents. B. It adds additional coverage over the limits of underlying liability policies. C. It covers only property damage and not bodily injury. D. It replaces the need for other insurance policies. Correct answer. B. It adds additional coverage over the limits of underlying liability policies. Explanation. An umbrella liability policy provides extra liability coverage above the limits of an insured's primary policies, such as homeowners or auto insurance. It is designed to offer broader protection and cover claims that may exceed the limits of the underlying policies. Options A, C, and D are incorrect as they misrepresent the scope and function of umbrella policies. Question 47. Mary's dwelling in North Dakota is insured for replacement cost coverage. If her home is partially damaged by a covered peril and she chooses not to repair the damage, how will her claim be settled? A. The insurer will pay the replacement cost regardless of repairs. B. The claim will be settled at actual cash value, SAV. C. The insurer will deny the claim entirely. D. The claim will be settled for full market value. Correct answer. B. The claim will be settled at actual cash value, SAV. Explanation. Replacement cost coverage generally applies only when repairs or replacements are made. If the policyholder does not repair or replace the damaged property, most policies, including those in North Dakota, settle claims at the actual cash value, which accounts for depreciation. Option A contradicts standard policy terms, C is overly punitive, and D does not reflect typical settlement practices. Question 48. Which type of liability does North Dakota insurance law classify as strict liability involving minor property damage due to negligence? B. Liability for harm caused regardless of intent or negligence, such as dangerous animals. C. Liability only in cases involving professional malpractice. D. Liability that applies exclusively to auto accidents. Correct answer. B. Liability for harm caused regardless of intent or negligence, such as dangerous animals. Explanation. Strict liability, or absolute liability, applies when a party is held responsible for damages without the need to prove negligence or intent. This can include situations involving inherently dangerous activities or ownership of certain animals. Options A, C, and D refer to negligence or specific situations not typically classified as strict liability. Question 49. In North Dakota, what is a key consideration for determining replacement cost coverage versus actual cash value, ACV, in property insurance? The replacement cost takes into account depreciation, while ACV does not. B. ACV reflects the market value of the property without deductions. C. Replacement cost pays for rebuilding or repairing without depreciation. D. Both replacement cost and ACV pay the same amount for losses. Correct answer. C. Replacement cost pays for rebuilding or repairing without depreciation. Explanation. Replacement cost coverage pays for the cost of repairing or replacing damaged property without subtracting depreciation. Actual cash value, C, on the other hand, compensates for the loss by considering depreciation, resulting in a lower payout. Options A, B, and D misrepresent the definitions and differences between these valuation methods. Question 50. Under North Dakota property insurance laws, what is a common exclusion in homeowners' policies? A. Damage from fire and smoke. B. Theft of personal property. C. Damage due to earth movement such as earthquakes. D. Water damage from a burst pipe. Correct answer. C. Damage due to earth movement such as earthquakes. Explanation. Homeowners' policies typically exclude damage resulting from earth movement, including earthquakes. This type of coverage often requires a separate endorsement or policy. Options A, B, and D describe perils that are commonly covered in standard homeowners insurance policies. Question 51. In North Dakota, when a producer advises a client on replacing their life insurance policy, which of the following must be provided to the client? A. A brochure explaining insurance in general terms. B. A detailed comparison of the existing and proposed policies. C. A copy of the insurer's annual financial statement. D. A summary of claims handled by the producer. Correct answer. B. A detailed comparison of the existing and proposed policies. Explanation. When replacing a life insurance policy, North Dakota law requires producers to provide clients with a clear comparison of the existing policy and the proposed policy. This ensures that clients make informed decisions by understanding differences in benefits, costs, and coverage. The other options are not mandatory disclosures in the replacement process. Question 52. What is the main purpose of North Dakota's Insurance Guarantee Association? A. To regulate premiums set by insurance companies. B. To license insurance producers and adjusters. C. To pay claims when an insurer becomes insolvent. D. To provide liability coverage to uninsured drivers. Correct answer. C. To pay claims when an insurer becomes insolvent. Explanation. The North Dakota Insurance Guarantee Association protects policyholders by paying claims if an insurance company becomes insolvent. This ensures that policyholders do not suffer financial loss due to a company's inability to meet its obligations. Options A, B, and D describe functions outside the scope of the association's responsibilities. Question 53. What is the primary factor considered in underwriting homeowners insurance policies in North Dakota? A. The number of residents in the neighborhood. B. The market value of nearby homes. C. The construction type and condition of the home. D. The number of vehicles owned by the homeowner. Correct answer. C. The construction type and condition of the home. Explanation. Underwriters consider factors such as the type of construction, the condition of the home, and any existing safety features when assessing homeowners insurance policies. These factors help determine the risk and potential premium. Options A, B, and D do not significantly impact underwriting decisions for homeowners policies. Question 54. Which of the following best defines insurable interest in the context of North Dakota property insurance? A. The policyholder's obligation to report all claims. B. A legal right to insure based on a financial relationship to the insured property. C. The insurer's right to deny a claim if fraud is suspected. D. The insured's responsibility to maintain adequate coverage limits. Correct answer. B. A legal right to insure based on a financial relationship to the insured property. Explanation. Insurable interest refers to the policyholder's financial stake in the property being insured. It ensures that the policyholder would experience a financial loss if the property were damaged. Without insurable interest, the policy would be considered void. Options A, C, and D do not accurately describe insurable interest. Question 55. Under North Dakota insurance laws, what happens if a policyholder fails to disclose a material fact on their application? A. The policy automatically becomes void. B. The insurer may deny coverage if the nondisclosure is discovered. C. The policyholder must pay a fine to continue coverage. D. The coverage is adjusted retroactively to correct the misrepresentation. Correct answer. B. The insurer may deny coverage if the nondisclosure is discovered. Explanation. Failure to disclose a material fact on an insurance application may lead to the insurer denying coverage or rescinding the policy if the nondisclosure is discovered. This is because the nondisclosure affects the risk assessment conducted by the insurer. Options A, C, and D do not align with typical insurance practices. Question 56. What is a common exclusion in a standard auto insurance policy in North Dakota? A. Damage caused by a collision with another vehicle. B. Damage resulting from a natural disaster such as a hailstorm. C. Damage due to mechanical wear and tear. D. Bodily injury liability coverage. Correct answer. C. Damage due to mechanical wear and tear. Explanation. Auto insurance policies generally exclude coverage for mechanical wear and tear as it is considered a maintenance issue, not an insurable risk. Coverage for collisions, natural disasters, and liability, options A, B, and D, are typically included depending on the type of auto policy purchased. Question 57. In North Dakota, which of the following best describes actual cash value, CVA, the market value of the insured property without any depreciation? B. The cost of replacing the property minus depreciation. C. The amount an insurer pays regardless of the property's age. D. The full cost of rebuilding the property as new. Correct answer. B. The cost of replacing the property minus depreciation. Explanation. Actual cash value, CV, represents the cost to replace damaged property, taking into account depreciation. This ensures that the payout reflects the property's current value rather than its full replacement cost. Options A, C, and D misrepresent the definition of ACV. Question 58. A North Dakota insured has a homeowner's policy that includes liability coverage. If a guest trips on the insured's property and sustains an injury, what does the liability coverage provide? A. Coverage for damages to the insured's property. B. Payment for the guest's medical bills and potential legal defense. C. Full replacement cost to the insured's dwelling. D. None of the above. A liability coverage only applies to auto accidents. Correct answer. B. Payment for the guest's medical bills and potential legal defense. Explanation. Homeowner's liability coverage typically covers injuries to third parties that occur on the insured's property, including medical expenses and legal defense if a lawsuit arises. Option A is property damage coverage. Option C is unrelated to liability coverage. And option D is incorrect as liability extends beyond auto accidents. Question 59. In North Dakota, what is the consequence of failing to pay an insurance premium by the due date? A. The insurer is obligated to maintain coverage until the next billing cycle. B. The policy may be canceled for non-payment after proper notice is given. C. The insured will be fined by the state for a late payment. D. The insured automatically qualifies for an extended grace period. Correct answer. B. The policy may be canceled for non-payment after proper notice is given. Explanation. If an insured fails to pay the premium on time, the policy may be canceled by the insurer following a legally required notice period. This ensures the policyholder is informed before losing coverage. Options A, C, and D do not reflect standard consequences for non-payment in North Dakota. Question 60. Which of the following perils is typically covered under a standard homeowner's insurance policy in North Dakota? A. Flooding due to rising water levels. B. Damage from a burst pipe inside the home. C. Earthquake damage. D. Termite damage. Correct answer. B. Damage from a burst pipe inside the home. Explanation. Water damage from a burst pipe is generally covered under a standard homeowner's policy. However, flooding, option A, and earthquake damage, option C, are usually excluded and require separate coverage. Termite damage, option D, is also excluded as it is considered a preventable maintenance issue. Question 61. What is the primary purpose of the grace period in an insurance policy? A. To allow the insurer extra time to process claims. B. To give the policyholder additional time to pay a premium without losing coverage. C. To provide a time frame for policy adjustments by the insurer. D. To extend the policy coverage period by 1 month. Correct answer. B. To give the policyholder additional time to pay a premium without losing coverage. Explanation. A grace period allows a policyholder to make a premium payment after the due date without facing immediate policy cancellation. This provision helps ensure that coverage continues while the insured addresses the payment. Options A, C, and D do not accurately describe the purpose of the grace period. Question 62. In the context of property insurance, what does the term replacement cost refer to? A. The current market value of the property. B. The cost to replace damaged property without considering depreciation. C. The insured amount stated in the policy, regardless of actual costs. D. The value of the property after subtracting the deductible. Correct answer. B. The cost to replace damaged property without considering depreciation. Explanation. Replacement cost is the amount needed to replace damaged property with a new item of similar kind and quality without deducting for depreciation. This ensures the policyholder can restore their property to its original state. Options A, C, and D misrepresent the replacement cost concept. Question 63. Which type of auto insurance coverage pays for the repair of an insured's vehicle in the event of a collision regardless of fault? A. Liability coverage. B. Collision coverage. C. Comprehensive coverage. D. Uninsured motorist coverage. Correct answer. B. Collision coverage. Explanation. Collision coverage pays for the repair or replacement of the insured's vehicle following a collision with another vehicle or object, regardless of fault. Liability coverage, option A, covers damage to others. Comprehensive coverage, option C, applies to non-collision events. And uninsured motorist coverage, option D, covers injuries and damages caused by uninsured drivers. Question 64. Why is an endorsement added to an insurance policy? A. To extend the policy term automatically. B. To provide additional coverage or modify the terms of the policy. C. To exclude certain types of losses from coverage. D. To reduce the premium payment required. Correct answer. B. To provide additional coverage or modify the terms of the policy. Explanation. An endorsement, or rider, is used to amend or add coverage to an existing insurance policy. It allows policyholders to tailor their policy to fit specific needs, such as adding a valuable item or modifying conditions. Options A, C, and D do not reflect the purpose of endorsements. Question 65. What is the main function of liability insurance? A. To cover damage to the insured's property. B. To cover injuries or damages the insured causes to third parties. C. To pay for routine maintenance of the insured's vehicle or home. D. To provide a refund of the insurance premium at the end of the policy term. Correct answer. B. To cover injuries or damages the insured causes to third parties. Explanation. Liability insurance protects the insured from financial loss due to injuries or property damage they may cause to others. This ensures that the insured can compensate affected third parties without bearing the full financial burden. Options A, C, and D misrepresent the role of liability insurance. Question 66. Which of the following best describes coinsurance = property insurance policy? A. The sharing of risk between two insurers on a single policy. B. A penalty applied for underinsuring a property. C. An agreement that pays for all claims without any deductible. D. The splitting of premium payments between the insured and the insurer. Correct answer. B. A penalty applied for underinsuring a property. Explanation. Coinsurance is a clause that requires the policyholder to insure their property to a certain percentage of its value, typically 80% or more. If the property is underinsured, the insured may face a penalty when filing a claim. Options A, C, and D are not accurate descriptions of coinsurance. Question 67. What type of life insurance policy accumulates cash value over time? A. Term life insurance. B. Whole life insurance. C. Accidental death insurance. D. Variable annuity insurance. Correct answer. B. Whole life insurance. Explanation. Whole life insurance policies provide lifetime coverage and include a cash value component that accumulates over time. Term life insurance, option A, does not build cash value. Accidental death insurance, option C, provides a payout only for accidental deaths. And variable annuity insurance, option D, is an investment product with different features. Question 68. Which of the following is typically an OT covered under a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. Fire damage to the insured's home. B. Theft of personal belongings inside the home. C. Flood damage from rising water. D. Windstorm damage. Correct answer. C. Flood damage from rising water. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies do not cover flood damage. Flood coverage must be purchased as a separate policy or through specialized endorsements. Fire, theft, and windstorm damage, options A, B, and D, are commonly covered perils in standard policies. Question 69. What is an example of a peril that comprehensive auto insurance typically covers? A. Damage from a car accident with another vehicle. B. A tree falling on the insured's car during a storm. C. Damages due to driving over a pothole. D. Liability for injuries to another driver. Correct answer. B. A tree falling on the insured's car during a storm. Explanation. Comprehensive auto insurance covers damages not related to collisions, such as natural disasters, vandalism, or theft. Option. It describes collision coverage. Option C may fall under collision coverage, and option D refers to liability insurance. Question 70. In health insurance, what does the term out-of-pocket maximum mean? A. The maximum amount the insurer will pay for a claim. B. The total expenses the insured must pay before the policy covers anything. C. The maximum amount an insured pays for covered services in a policy period before the insurer covers 100% of the remaining costs. D. The amount an insured pays for non-covered services. Correct answer. C. The maximum amount an insured pays for covered services in a policy period before the insurer covers 100% of the remaining costs. Explanation. The out-of-pocket maximum limits how much the insured will spend on deductibles, copayments, and coinsurance for covered services in a policy year. Once reached, the insurer covers 100% of additional covered expenses. Options A, B, and D do not accurately define this term. Question 71. What is the primary purpose of an insurance deductible? A. To increase the total coverage amount provided by the insurer. B. To reduce the premium paid by the policyholder. C. To share the cost of a claim between the insurer and the policyholder. D. To extend the length of the policy coverage period. Correct answer. C. To share the cost of a claim between the insurer and the policyholder. Explanation. A deductible is the amount the policyholder must pay out of pocket before the insurer covers the remaining cost of a claim. It ensures that the policyholder shares in the risk, helping to deter small, frequent claims. Options A, B, and D do not describe the purpose of a deductible. Question 72. Which of the following best describes the actual cash value in an insurance policy? A. The cost to replace an item minus depreciation. B. The replacement cost without any deductions. C. The highest amount the insurer will pay in a claim. D. The appraised value of the property at the time of sale. Correct answer. A. The cost to replace an item minus depreciation. Explanation. Actual cash value, ACV, represents the replacement cost of an item minus depreciation, reflecting its current value rather than the original purchase or replacement cost. Options B, C, and D do not accurately define ACV. Question 73. In which situation would uninsured motorist coverage apply? A. When the insured hits an animal on the road. B. When the insured causes damage to another driver's car. C. When the insured is involved in an accident with an at-fault driver who lacks sufficient insurance. D. When the insured's car is stolen. Correct answer. C. When the insured is involved in an accident with an at-fault driver who lacks sufficient insurance. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage protects the policyholder if they are in an accident caused by another driver who either has no insurance or insufficient coverage. Options A, B, and D do not describe situations covered by uninsured motorist insurance. Question 74. What is the primary benefit of purchasing an umbrella insurance policy? A. It lowers the cost of the policyholder's primary insurance policies. B. It provides comprehensive coverage for all types of incidents. C. It offers additional liability coverage beyond the limits of the underlying policies. D. It insures against property damage only. Correct answer. C. It offers additional liability coverage beyond the limits of the underlying policies. Explanation. Umbrella insurance extends the liability coverage limits of home, auto, and other personal insurance policies, providing extra protection against large claims or lawsuits. Options A, B, and D do not correctly explain the purpose of umbrella insurance. Question 75. What does a policy's declarations page typically include? A. A list of excluded perils. B. Information on how to file a claim. C. The names of the insured, policy limits, and premium amount. D. A detailed description of how claims are processed. Correct answer. C. The names of the insured, policy limits, and premium amount. Explanation. The declarations page is an overview of key policy details, including the names of the insured, coverage limits, premium amount, and effective policy dates. Options A, B, and D cover other sections or documents of the policy, not the declarations page. Question 76. Which of the following is an OTA factor used by insurers to determine auto insurance premiums? A. The policyholder's driving history. B. The policyholder's age and gender. C. The color of the policyholder's car. D. The policyholder's location and type of vehicle. Correct answer. C. The color of the policyholder's car. Explanation. Insurers consider factors like driving history, age, gender, location, and the type of vehicle when determining auto insurance premiums. However, the color of a car is not typically used as a factor in premium calculations. Options A, B, and D are valid underwriting considerations. Question 77. What type of insurance policy would cover an injury to a guest at the policyholder's home? A. Collision insurance. B. Liability coverage under a homeowner's insurance policy. C. Comprehensive auto insurance. D. Personal property coverage. Correct answer. B. Liability coverage under a homeowner's insurance policy. Explanation. Liability coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy covers injuries to guests or visitors on the insured's property. This protection ensures that the policyholder can cover medical expenses or legal fees associated with such incidents. Options A, C, and D are unrelated to this type of coverage. Question 78. What does bodily injury liability insurance cover in an auto policy? A. Damages to the insured's vehicle. B. Medical expenses and lost wages for others injured by the insured. C. Comprehensive coverage for damages unrelated to accidents. D. The repair of pothole damage to the insured's car. Correct answer. B. Medical expenses and lost wages for others injured by the insured. Explanation. Bodily injury liability covers the medical expenses and lost wages of third parties injured in an accident where the insured is at fault. Helps protect the insured from financial liability related to these damages. Options A, C, and D do not describe bodily injury liability coverage. Question 79. Why might someone consider purchasing a rider for their homeowner's insurance policy? A. To avoid having a deductible on claims. B. To gain additional coverage for items not fully covered by the base policy. C. To reduce the overall premium of the policy. D. To ensure their property taxes are covered. Correct answer. B. To gain additional coverage for items not fully covered by the base policy. Explanation. A rider or endorsement provides extra coverage for valuable items or specific situations that may not be adequately covered under the standard policy terms. Options A, C, and D do not correctly describe the purpose of an insurance rider. Question 80. What is the difference between open perils and named perils policies? A. Open perils policies cover only specific losses, while named perils cover all losses. B. Named perils policies cover only specified events, while open perils cover all events not specifically excluded. C. Open perils policies require higher deductibles than named perils. D. Named perils policies are only applicable to life insurance. Correct answer. B. Named perils policies cover only specified events, while open perils cover all events not specifically excluded. Explanation. A named perils policy only covers losses caused by events explicitly listed in the policy, while an open perils policy covers all events except those specifically excluded. Options A, C, and D do not accurately describe the differences between these types of policies. Question 81. In North Dakota, which type of auto insurance coverage is mandatory for all drivers? A. Collision coverage. B. Personal injury protection (PIP). C. Bodily injury liability coverage. D. Comprehensive coverage. Correct answer. C. Bodily injury liability coverage. Explanation. North Dakota requires all drivers to carry bodily injury liability coverage, which helps cover expenses related to injuries caused to others in an accident. While personal injury protection is also important, collision and comprehensive coverages are not mandatory by state law. Question 82. What is one major benefit of having replacement cost coverage on a homeowner's insurance policy in North Dakota? A. It only covers the cost of labor for repairs. B. It pays the current market value of damaged items. C. It covers the cost of replacing items without depreciation deductions. D. It requires higher deductibles compared to actual cash value. Correct answer. C. It covers the cost of replacing items without depreciation deductions. Explanation. Replacement cost coverage ensures that the policyholder receives the amount necessary to replace damaged items at today's prices without accounting for depreciation. Options A, B, and D do not accurately describe the benefits of replacement cost coverage. Question 83. Which type of coverage would protect a policyholder if a storm causes roof damage to their North Dakota home? A. Personal liability. B. Dwelling coverage. C. Personal property coverage. D. Loss of use. Correct answer. B. Dwelling coverage. Explanation. Dwelling coverage is part of a homeowner's insurance policy that pays for damage to the structure of the home, including the roof, caused by covered perils such as storms. Options A, C, and D pertain to other areas of coverage not related to the structure itself. Question 84. What is the primary function of the North Dakota Insurance Department? A. To provide insurance policies to state residents. B. To oversee and regulate the insurance industry within the state. C. To set insurance premiums for all insurers. D. To offer financial assistance to insured individuals. Correct answer. B. To oversee and regulate the insurance industry within the state. Explanation. The North Dakota Insurance Department's primary function is to regulate and oversee the insurance industry to ensure compliance with state laws and to protect consumers. Options A, C, and D do not describe the department's primary role. Question 85. In North Dakota, uninsured motorist coverage is designed to protect policyholders in which situation? A. When the policyholder causes an accident. B. When the policyholder's car is stolen. C. When the policyholder is involved in an accident with an at-fault driver who does not have insurance. D. When the policyholder experiences mechanical failure. Correct answer. C. When the policyholder is involved in an accident with an at-fault driver who does not have insurance. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage provides protection if the policyholder is in an accident with a driver who lacks insurance or cannot be identified, ensuring they can recover damages. Options A, B, and D are not situations covered by uninsured motorist coverage. Question 86. What does loss of use coverage typically reimburse in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. Repairs to damaged items. B. Legal fees after a liability lawsuit. C. Additional living expenses when the home is uninhabitable due to a covered peril. D. Replacement of personal property lost during a move. Correct answer. C. Additional living expenses when the home is uninhabitable due to a covered peril. Explanation. Loss of use coverage pays for additional living expenses such as hotel bills or restaurant meals if the insured's home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered peril. Options A, B, and D are unrelated to loss of use coverage. Question 87. Which of the following is an atypical exclusion in homeowners insurance policies? A. Flood damage. B. Fire damage. C. Earthquake damage. D. Maintenance-related wear and tear. Correct answer. B. Fire damage. Explanation. Fire damage is typically covered by standard homeowners insurance policies. Flood and earthquake damages, as well as maintenance-related wear and tear, are common exclusions that usually require separate policies or endorsements. Question 88. Why might a North Dakota resident choose to purchase additional flood insurance? A. Standard homeowners policies do not cover flood damage. B. Flood insurance is required by law for all properties. C. It reduces the premium of the homeowner's main insurance policy. D. It covers losses from wind damage. Correct answer. A. Standard homeowners policies do not cover flood damage. Explanation. Most standard homeowners insurance policies exclude flood damage, so residents may need to purchase separate flood insurance to protect their property. Options B, C, and D do not accurately describe the reason for buying flood insurance. Question 89. In North Dakota, what is the primary benefit of personal liability coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. It covers the cost of new furniture if damaged by a covered peril. B. It pays for additional living expenses when the home is uninhabitable. C. It protects against lawsuits for bodily injury or property damage for which the policyholder is responsible. D. It reimburses the policyholder for lost income due to home repairs. Correct answer. C. It protects against lawsuits for bodily injury or property damage for which the policyholder is responsible. Explanation. Personal liability coverage in a homeowner's policy protects the insured from financial loss if they are legally responsible for someone else's injury or property damage. Options A, B, and D are not the main purposes of personal liability coverage. Question 90. Which statement is true about the grace period in an insurance policy? A. It is the period during which an insurer can cancel a policy without notification. B. It is the time during which coverage continues after a missed premium payment. C. It is the time frame when no claims can be filed after a policy starts. D. It is the duration before a claim can be processed after filing. Correct answer. B. It is the time during which coverage continues after a missed premium payment. Explanation. A grace period allows the policyholder to make a late payment while maintaining coverage. If the payment is not made within this period, the policy may lapse. Options A, C, and D do not accurately describe a grace period in insurance terms.